Hey guys, my name's Octi. I have a layer to myself, so I figured I would just hop online and show you guys my current route in Sorrow Hill. I'm 58, so these mobs are starting to get lower on the end of kind of green mob EXP. And so I've had to incorporate some more pulls in this underground crypt section to not run out of mobs, because I'm really starting to have faster pulls. So real quick on the spec, because I just got dual spec, so I have one spec really focused on solo AoE and another spec on tanking in dungeons. So for the solo AoE side, it's just all the way down to Divine Favor with 2 points in improved lay on hands. And in the prot tree, I've obviously skipped improved Righteous Fury. I have 5 out of 5 toughness and 5 out of 5 reckoning. So the routing for this area is pretty simple. We do need to take on these casters, and so for this section I play Frost Resistance Aura, just because these casters love casting Frostbolt and Fire Nova. So we gather these 4 mobs here, we turn around this corner, we gather these last 2, and now we start kind of being annoying, playing around this corner. I like jumping on this uphill or upper section here so I can tuck my camera into the corner of the crypt. That way I'm not forced to look through trees. One intricacy about fighting these mobs as opposed to just straight melee pulls is that these guys do a lot more burst than an all melee pull would. So it's really important that you start healing a little bit sooner than you ordinarily might. If you notice you don't have too many sorcerers in a pull, then you can always swap over to Ret Aura, because you wouldn't be getting much value from Frost Res Aura. So at the end of this pull I'll swap to Red Aura anyway. I'm not judging here because none of the mobs will live long enough for the judgment to be worth it. I'll just finish up the pull as fast as possible. I'm actually curious what the EXP per hour is. I measured it before at around 50k, but I'm just going to reset my EXP per hour weak aura. So that was pull 1. Pull 1 is just this upper section. You take these 4 mobs here, pick up these last 2, it's 6 mobs. So sometimes there's a patrol coming up, you can grab that as well. That's 7 total. As you eat and drink, you just swap back over into Frost Resistance Aura, and we do pull 2, which is 8 mobs down at the crypt. You really don't want to over pull in this area, but I'm going to try not to bubble so that you guys can see, hey, this is really doable and fairly safe. So I pull these 4 mobs, I drop a rank 1 consecrate. If I get hit by a frostbolt, I'm ready to freedom. If I freedom here, I'll just run upstairs, drop another rank 1 consecration. I'm going to replace Blessing of Sanctuary and tuck myself right here on this corner, again with my camera into the corner so that I don't have to deal with weird POV stuff. I'll heal myself early. Now that the mobs are all gathered, I'm going to use Dynamite. I'm keeping an eye on my Divine Favor cooldown. I really do want my next heal to be with Divine Favor. I'm going to go ahead and swap over early. I'm watching my HP during this heal cast. If I go too low, I'm ready to pot or bubble. But that was all fine. I do have a mob behind me. It's kind of annoying to correct with all these casters, but... excuse me. So that's pull 2. It's right around 7 or 8 mobs, depending on spawns. We have this patrol coming up, but we should be able to loot this and drink just around this corner. Avoid getting this patrol. So we're going to look for that pat. I like pulling to the left. Somehow this tends to have more melee mobs from my experience. I have 1 caster here. So this is actually a 9 mob pull. I'm going to hodge that one. Drop a fresh rank 1 consecrate. I'll freedom here. This might be a mana potion pull. I can already feel it based on how low my HP is before I get up into my spot. I'm gonna need to heal early here, which means, you know, you're spending mana before you're really getting a ton of value. I also have a lot of casters, so I'm gonna make sure that I do sit in Frost Res Aura. I'm gonna swap. I'm actually gonna bubble here. I thought I would show the safety. So one thing that went wrong there is we got dazed all the way down there, and we had an extra caster versus what we had hoped to pull. I won't use a Holy Wrath because I do need to save my mana for healing. So we have Divine Favor coming back up very soon. I'll swap early into Concentration, and I'll just top myself here. We still have mana pot, still have health pot. So I'm probably just going to chug a mana pot. Top myself. And finish up the pull. Just melee with Seal of Wisdom until we get enough for max rank Consecrate. Just to finish up. So you see the value of Bubble. It is a little bit spooky. Just because of how much burst these mobs can do. So I was casting a heal, but I saw 3 or 4 frostbolts on the way in while I was mid-cast and did not want to take that risk. So that's 3 pulls in this section. Now the crypt is basically pulled down. There's only 5 mobs, and they're at the very bottom, where there's also sometimes a rare spawn. And so now we go back into the standard melee ghoul section of Sorrow Hill, which does have a lot more competition. But they're melee mobs, and so we're going to be able to pull it a little bit faster than the caster section that we just cleared. So I'll get to full health and mana. I'll mount up. You see we're already starting to get 1 respawn from pull 1. So the first pull that I like to do at my current gear level, just because of how tanky I am and how much damage I'm doing, consists of right around 12 mobs. So I'll use a rank 1 Consecrate. I'll pick up all these 6. And then I'll run over into this next graveyard section. I'll use rank 1 Exorcism on that guy. And I'll judge here. And we'll call this a pull. Gather the mobs into a full dynamite. Into a solid dynamite. And just keep Consecration down. Relative to the caster packs that we were just doing, this is really predictable. Right, there's nowhere near as much burst damage that you're taking, and so you can play it a little bit more loose with when you start healing. I see my HP and mana are both super fine. I'm just going to start using Consecrate on cooldown. Probably shouldn't have used Consecrate there, but it's all good. Exorcism to finish that mob. I'll dispel myself while looting. And we just sit down to drink. So pull 1, again, 6 mobs here, 4 or 5 mobs here. And this is specific to my current gear level. If you're, still 56, 57, 58, but you can't quite pull this many mobs, then just adjust the pull size down. So here I'll pull these 6 mobs, get some distance, drop a rank 1 Consecrate, make sure that you track all the mobs through the Consecrate, keep a mob targeted, drop another rank 1, use a rank 1 Exorcism, social aggro that mob, rank 1 Consecrate. And that rank 1 Consecrate was probably not necessary, but I'm just going to jump over the fence to reset the cooldown of Consecrate, so buy myself some time there, so I'm not just getting smacked without doing any damage to them. It's a long pull gather, so I'll swap over to throw myself a heal. And again, pretty much Divine Favoring on cooldown. If you can get value out of it, then just use it. If a pull is completely free without it, then it can make sense to skip. But it also makes it faster going from pull to pull, so it's not entirely wasted if you just send it. I'll just send it here. One little detail that I do like to pay attention to where I can is if I have the luxury to decide when I heal, I'll try to get a fresh Consecration out before I start healing. If you think about it, so AOE Paladin is sort of all about killing the mobs before they kill you. And the time you spend healing yourself is better spent if you have Consecration down doing damage to the mobs. Because you obviously can't do damage with Retribution Aura while you're healing yourself. So try to get a fresh max rank Consecration down before you swap to Concentration Aura to heal. That was pull 2. Again, right around 11, 12 mobs. And the third and final pull is probably the longest to set up, but that's because we've run out of really dense pockets of mobs. I'll pull that one, Loner. I'll grab these two by this mini grave. And I'll go up here on this hill area. I'll drop a rank 1 Consecration, and I'll make sure to drag all 3 of these other mobs through that. I'm just jump strafing, trying to keep my front to these mobs. Drop another rank 1 Consecration. Always be meleeing the mob that's closest to you. So we come around this crypt here, and then we work our way back over to this wagon. So we currently have 6 mobs. That makes 7. Drop a rank 1 Consecration, because otherwise we're going to get into trouble. Now, one trick you can do here, I have Consecrate on cooldown, as you guys can see, so I'm going to jump over, let these mobs come over to me, buy myself some space and time to heal, and then I'll drop a max rank Consecration and Dynamite. So we use rank 1 to keep the mobs leashed to us. We don't want to let mobs smack us in the face uninterrupted without having Consecration down, because again, it's all about having killing the mobs before they kill you. So right here, I'm probably going to need to heal one more time. I'll try to time it with this Divine Favor, but instead of healing now, I'm going to get a Consecration out, then I'll Divine Favor, swap over and heal, so you can see the damage is able to continue while I'm healing. And then as soon as I come out of the Holy Light cast, I will reapply Red Aura. So I'll loot these mobs, I'll drink up to full, and then we'll go back over to the crypt. And I'll just show you guys the respawn that's over there. So it's right around 50, 55k an hour, depending on how fast you do it. And if you're using all the tools available to you, you can speed this up a little bit more, right? So if I'm using Bubble and Holy Wrathing to speed up these pulls, then the XP per hour does go up, but you're pretty close to limited on the respawn timer. So can't go much faster than this. Some mages will AoE farm over here as they get, past the Sorrow Hill level range. It's a great spot, but there are some undead that cast Fear, so I think that's really fucking scary for a class that has to be in melee like Prop Pally. So as you can see, the crypt has respawned, and so we would just go ahead and do our pull 1, 2, 3 in this section before turning around and going back over there. I hope this is useful and helps Sorrow Hill not fall off for you guys past level 56 or so. So good luck and stay safe, and see you guys in the next video.